Well, you play drums. You played drums first, right? Isn't that like kind of the
first instrument I learned? Yeah, when I was 12, 13, I started playing drums. Till I was about 15, 16, then I switched to bass guitar for about 8 years, and I switched to guitar after that. This is an acoustic kit, cheap Japanese kit, made in the 60s, sometime in the 60s, I'm not sure.
Do you know what the brand name is?
That I couldn't even tell you. Maybe a Revere, or they had a ton of different brand names, but they're all basically made by Pearl or Tama. I was living in an apartment, so I couldn't play an acoustic kit, so I've converted these into electric drums.
So these are all actually electric drums. Mm-hmm. How did you do it?
It's really simple, actually. Get mesh heads. Underneath here is a crossbar that supports a trigger, and then drill a hole in there with a 1/4-inch jack connected to your trigger, and run it to the control module. The trigger right in the middle has got really good dynamic control, and actually the drum module itself has really good dynamic control.
What is the drum module?
It's a Roland TD-20.
There's the Roland TD-20. What does this sound like? I mean, I would imagine it doesn't. The mesh heads, it doesn't make. It makes no like real if it's not plugged.
Yeah, I mean, it's really quiet. It's perfect for when I was in an apartment. I'm currently collecting pieces for an actual acoustic set now that I don't live in an apartment anymore. What I like to do with this is when I record through it, I run the MIDI out into my computer, and then I resample all the MIDI signals through a program called Easy Drummer, made by Tune Tracks. So I'll take my MIDI information and convert it through a this program that'll sample acoustic drums. So when I'm all done, it doesn't sound like an electric drum set. It'll actually sound like an acoustic. So
essentially, you're doing the timing and everything, playing it, and then you put it in there, and you're doing the model drum sounds from that. And it sounds like an acoustic kit.
It's pretty convincing, yeah. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the data sent by the drum module, especially with the hi-hat control and all the nuances of how the drums react to your playing. But the program, the Tune Track program, has multi-sampled layers, so the harder you hit here triggers a different sample on the computer. So it's not just a soft hit here is the same sound as a hard hit. Each drum sound will have multiple layers of samples, so the softer you hit it, it'll trigger a softer hit drum sample. The harder you hit it, triggers a harder hit drum sample. Does it have
what's the range? I mean, how many samples does it have for each thing? Like 6,
that
8,
I couldn't.
10?
No, probably around 12, I would guess.
Well, that's pretty good, actually. That's
including rim shots and edge shots on the cymbals. The ride actually has the bell, the bow, and an edge shot. And all of them, you can choke them as well. It's a pretty cool thing.